After years of investigation and now a lot of hearings in court, a verdict reached yesterday in the Pilot Flying J fraud trial. 3 of the 4 former employees found guilty in that fraud case, various charges. That includes former Pilot President Mark Hazelwood, former Pilot Vice President Scott Wambold, and Heather Jones. Only Karen Mann was able to walk away a free woman from court Thursday. Today, Hazelwood faced a detention hearing here in Knoxville in U.S. District Court. The government wanted him to go into custody for his convictions on conspiracy to commit wire fraud as well as witness tampering. The judge put him on house arrest with some conditions, as we reported earlier. Now, we also learned today that Hazelwood had a $40 million separation agreement with Pilot. Joining us to break this down is investigative reporter John North. John, good to see you. He spent a bulk of time in the court hearings in Chattanooga as well. What stood out to you about the hearing today?
Well, several things did. First of all, you mentioned we learned about the $40 million separation agreement. That was interesting. We didn't know about that. He reached that agreement with Pilot in 2014. The company emailed me very quickly today and said, hey, that was all part of the terms of his employment when he worked with us. And I'm thinking, okay, $40 million, that's in addition to, we know he made roughly $77 million during a 5-year period before the bust. So he, as the government said, he was a man of means. He is a man of means. That stuck out. Another thing that we learned today, which I thought was very interesting, was that he very quickly after he left Pilot began pursuing a number of startup businesses where he is a principal in. He's an advisor, he's an owner, his wife is an owner in one of them. Several, at least, are involved with the trucking industry itself, which I thought was very fascinating, that he would walk away after roughly 30 years of expertise to find another way to apply that knowledge.
In June, he will likely face the number of years that he will spend behind prison. In federal court, you serve 85% of your sentence, John. His lawyer is adamant that they will get an appeal.
Yeah, Rusty Hardin says he's absolutely going to appeal, and he's absolutely convinced that he's going to get a new trial. I know one of the issues that he's talking about, and that was the whole introduction of the tape with racially charged comments on it. But the government did make clear today they're guessing he's facing 160 months to 260 months, which is roughly 10 to 20 years, somewhere in there. So we know he is going to prison. He is, I think it's safe to say he is not going to prison.
He is under house arrest right now. John, when you look back, we talked about the protracted length of this trial, starting in November, but they were only in court about 20 days or so, and we thought, hey, that might favor the defense in this because prosecutors have a lot of re-education to do with the jury. In the end, how do you assess that?
That's a great question, because they sort of got this trial in chunks and in segments. There was the November chunk, then there was the December chunk, which was roughly maybe a week or so, and then there was January, where the government really sort of, finished it up. It's a great question. I imagine there were some things that lingered in their minds, but certainly you can make the argument that the case was not nearly as fresh in their minds come February as it was when it started in early November or mid-November.
Only 15 seconds left, but we will see this appeal likely to the Sixth Circuit if that goes through. John, when will this be over? When does the door shut on the Pilot Flying J case?
Well, it's going to be a matter of months, if not a couple of years.
All right. John North, we appreciate the analysis.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.